How's it going, everyone? Hey, we just had a crazy rainstorm, and I don't know. I want to go check out these trails on the property because everything's. I mean, I'm obsessed with coming on these trails and just looking at it at any kind of time of the day because there's always something different. I've lived on this property for well over 30 years, I guess now, or about 30 years. And you just never get sick of it. If you believe me, this all used to probably just be pasture back in the day, but clearly not anymore. Either way, I'm going to take a little walk with you guys, and you can come with me, and we're just going to talk a little bit. So, let's get her going. Sorry for any shakiness or any bad quality. This is just me and my phone. That's about all I got for you. But here we are, first fork in the road, huh? Well, if we keep God in mind, no matter what direction we go, it's going to be beautiful. So let's go this way. Go this way, or we can go this way. I'm gonna go this way towards me and my cousin's creation. This is more so all of this that I'm taking you on right now. My cousin came over and he cut all this out. We have a lot of fun out on these trails, creating new ones, maintaining the ones that we do make, and just coming up with new ideas. But what's best is just the conversations that we have. Like, my goodness, God is just present all the time when we are talking, and it just keeps popping up. So I figured that's a good thing for us to talk about, because honestly, I'm pretty new to all this faith stuff, new to a sense of seeing it with the clarity that I've always wondered about. I'm reminded of this part in the Bible that I'm not quite sure where it is, but Greek philosophers and poets got the chance to pretty much hear what they needed to hear and what they were striving for in their poems when the teachers of good, God, came. And once they heard, they're like, all right, that's all I needed. And I'm starting to feel that feeling right now. And I'm just like, how can I relay it to people and how can I get them to connect and believe it for themselves? Because I'm not asking you to believe it the way that I believe it, because my cousin, my sister, anybody that I really trust, everybody's got their own very strong and unique, clear visual and ways of expressing this God that we were all talking about. And everything in my life pretty much comes up to this point in my head where I'm thinking about what I did in the past, especially the past 10 years, what I did when I was working with kids all the time, how that evolved, and just the kid experience. I mean, that 10 years of working with kids, that's going to make your mind open up to a whole lot of new things in you. Patience, understanding, compassion, love, all of it. And lo and behold, what are the greatest qualities of God? Those exact qualities. And what are we supposed to be doing if God's teaching us those qualities? We're supposed to be living them. And that's what my transition kind of went into, even when I didn't even know what I was really doing. I was working with kids. At first, it was not intimidating, but I was a kid myself. I was 18, 19. And, we worked with teenagers. So kids really, honestly, like, the older ones were not that much younger than me, so it was hard to be like a leader confidently in front of them. I could still feel a little bit of anxieties and uncomfortableness trying to figure out how to connect to them or how to be a good influence. And it didn't really happen until I was like 25, after like 5 years of being into it and moving up the ranks and getting confident and making relationships with all these kids. And suddenly, I became a boss figure. And I was like, what's the difference between me when I was not like a regular worker and the bosses when I was underneath them? Is the higher up you go on the pyramid of this, the worse kid you're supposed to get or whatever, but it never really worked out that way, at least with my bosses when I was underneath them. Basically, I got to the point with bad kids. I'd tell all the counselors and everybody at the camps that I work at, I'd say, give me the kids. Give me all the bad kids. Any kid that he's troubling, he's like, I took it upon myself to go after him. And I realized I was never scared. I lost the fear of being their influence, and I became full embodiment of being the best influence that I could for them. And basically, it gave me this confidence and this new understanding on how to even work with kids. And man, did my life explode. I was not a talker at all. But then I was sitting down 100 kids, giving them a lecture in the morning and pumping them up, you know. And I got to know like every single one of them. And you worked there for a decade. And I mean, you're going to know these kids really well. And they're going to form trust. They're going to form bonds. And it's not... It gets to the point where we get this certain level of awareness and a certain level of understanding that we have a huge sense of responsibility to lead innocent things, because we all start out as innocent. And I guess what I'm trying to really say is I've now, in the last 4 or 5 years, am getting this confidence that I got working with kids, but talking about God, talking about spirit. And where I would go on those field trips and I'd say, all right, any troublemakers, you know, that's going to be my group. I'm going to have the 10 worst kids, quotation marks, because I don't look at them as worse. I just look at them as need more guidance. And so now my internal confusions, my uphill battle towards understanding God and spirit, it's becoming confident where I can teach now, where I'm like, now I'm going after the ones who don't want to even think about God. Not going after, but like I'm saying, come on, let me try to change your point of view in a sense of thinking about things in a more healthy